You're watching this week's show with Dan and Mike.
So this week's show is From the Vault.
And it is From the Vault.
This one, unfortunately, did not pass muster when we updated our YouTube channel about 2 years ago, because we decided that in preparation for doing a full podcast and changing a lot of what our YouTube presence was, we would go back and set some fairly strong rules on the videos, which is if it didn't have enough views, then it didn't get to stay listed. And it did take away some of my bigger names, but there weren't the views on them. And I think when we watch this one back, if my memory serves, there's a reason why it didn't get many views. So this one's going to be quite cringeworthy for this guy and quite amusing for this guy.
Because I'm not in it.
And you just get to laugh at me on one of my early ones.
Yeah.
So we are talking about the one and only time that I managed to interview a member of Pantera. Because it's not just Vinnie Paul, the one time I did them, it's the one time I've done any member of Pantera, because you did Rex when he was with his other project.
Yep.
You've done Vinnie a couple of times.
Yep.
You also had a non-interview interaction with him, which I know made you very happy because he gives the best hugs.
He did.
Yep.
We almost, just by happenstance, I had a Vinnie Paul interview for about 4 or 5 years in a row.
Yeah.
And he got to recognise this face with the beard then.
Because he did have the famous beard then.
Yeah, and then each time he'd come up, I know you. It's like, yeah. It's like, I want to say it's Mike, right? And I'm like, yeah. And then the hugging started, and every year from then on, it was the best hugs in the business. I've hugged a lot of rock stars, and
I've done the same. Though this one, I'm going to have to shout this man out a little bit because
Mike.
The first year that I ever did Download, we talked about the story. I'm not going to go into that as to why I was there and why it meant so much.
Yeah, why were you there? Did I do you wrong?
But you actually did one of your Hellyeah ones, in the yearly one that you're talking about, in 2012.
Is that the one with
Chad
as well?
Yes, so you did that one, and I was just there taking photos and basically trying to look busy.
Trying to look cool.
That did not happen. So watching and again little teenager Dan having his mind blown by the fact he had met a member of Pantera and Mudvayne in one go. Then that got completely overshadowed by actually meeting Killswitch Engage and Matt Heafy. And we've told the story many times. Point being is that the interview that we're going to play today was one of the first big changes of us working together, where from Download 2012, where we were audio only, no YouTube channel, just a radio show. By 2013, we had got the YouTube channel sorted, we were filming everything, and we decided to give it a go at our very first download. Well, why not see if we can edit them on site and start posting them? And you're like, well, depends what internet connection you're going to get, but you may as well give it a go. I kid you not, nobody was doing this at this point. No one.
Trendsetters we were.
Surprisingly so, to be honest. And I think we also, that was the year of the godforsaken blog as well, that we tried to do long before blogging took over what it is now.
Yeah.
And there's some funny moments in it, but there's also just some really boring footage where we were in that mindset, if we recorded it, it had to go in. Early blogging. But realising what a difference it was from the year before, where I didn't talk on the show, on the radio show itself, never done an interview. By the next download in 2013, I did about half the interviews. You made a faux pas, which I've never let you live down in the world, because there was one band there, which I think you probably wish that you had taken that interview rather than winding me up saying that I was going to talk to Casper all day.
Oh, I was thinking it was...
what, the five
finger incident.
Same year.
Yeah.
All of this happened in the same year. So in 1 year, Mike interviewed every member of Five Finger, it was 2 years after the Ivan Moody one, but you got every other member of Five Finger that had been in the band the 2 years previous.
The original, yeah.
And we lost the audio.
We didn't lose the audio.
I was giving you an out there. I was giving you an out.
No. You can find it on the internet. It's out there. The truth is out there.
So Mike didn't record. But we also had this interview. I believe it's possibly also the one where I interviewed one of my favourite teenage bands, being Three Doors Down as well. And we've never had another interview with them afterwards because they've never been at somewhere like Download since.
No, they don't do a lot of stuff over here, do they?
And I got the front man. Like, that's still a big memory for me. But it's also the one where we had this interview booked. You knew about the band because you often know about all of the ones we have booked. That's what you do.
That's my job.
And so we get there. I'm setting up. He's like, "Oh, I've got this interview for you today." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Who is it?" He's like, "Ghost." I'm like, "Who's Ghost?" And so it informs me like, "Oh, they're a masked band. They do this, and you're probably just going to get a band member, all of this sort of stuff." And then he spent the entire day winding me up every time that we weren't in an interview, just going, "How are you looking forward to interviewing Casper?" To see whether or not my brain would soak that name in instead. Then I've delighted in the fact that he did this to me for the years since, because he's the one that became a Ghost fan. And I did not. And we reckon that it was also Tobias Forge wearing a Nameless Ghoul outfit, because...
Quite possible, yeah.
Back in those days, Tobias would take off his frontman attire and go to the press area of a festival in a Nameless Ghoul, and so that people could have an interview with the voice of it, but they didn't realise that they were getting the frontman, so people didn't get too crazy. Boy is smart. Like, I may not love Ghost sound, but I have to admire how professional and smart they've been since the start of their career.
Yeah.
But this is Vinnie Paul with Hellyeah. By this point they had already gone through multiple tragedies and split-ups, and Dimebag unfortunately had passed in 2004.
Yeah, it was 2004, was it? Yeah.
And it was one of the because they were only in the first year of Damageplan as a band when that happened. I think it's why Damageplan only has the one album, You Found Power, I believe it is. And obviously this is all post Pantera split in 2003. But we loved a bit of Hellyeah.
Hellyeah. I saw them a few times. I've interviewed Vinnie a few times through Hellyeah.
Yeah.
Like in Plymouth. I got to sit in his little private green room.
Yeah.
And
which he decked out
in flags, and
it was so cool.
That Texas flag that you can't put up anymore was there, and there was he just basically made it feel like it was home from home kind of thing.
And didn't you chat to him about it in the interview a little bit as well? And he's like, "It's so important to do this because I'm a road dog.
Yeah.
But as long as I've got my aesthetic in my green room, then I'm happier." But also, like, we talked to Wes from Limp Bizkit, the fact that what people thought was him needing to look wild on stage was actually him needing to fill time on tour, putting himself into the makeup, and it kept him in a good space because he could focus on that instead. And Vinnie had a very different way of doing it. But yeah, we're going to hit play on this one because I think we're going to want to roast me afterwards. Like, I
know we will.
I am so confident I remember this interview. Right, let's go. Right, so Devin Dann here with Vinnie Paul from Hellyeah. How are you doing, chap?
Hell yeah, I'm doing great, man. Great day.
Great day. And so you guys are playing a little bit later on?
No, we already played.
You already played. I keep getting this wrong with people. Sorry, man. How was it?
It was absolutely awesome. I felt like the audience gave us everything back that we gave them. I felt like it was probably technically one of the best performances I've ever had at Download. It was my sixth time to play here, and it was a true thrill, and the crowd was great, man. Loved it.
Brilliant. So, where are you headed after this? Is it the Electric Ballroom in London?
Yeah, I guess that's what we're playing. We're playing a co-headline show with POD tomorrow night, which is going to be really exciting. From what I understand, it's sold out, so that's a good sign. And then after that, we head off to Switzerland for a couple of shows with Korn, and then some more festivals next week, and another week of it in Europe, and then we go back to the United States and join up with the Gigantic Tour, which is Megadeth, Black Label, us, Device, Newstead. It's going to be a killer deal all over the U.S. for July and August, and then take a little break during September and go right to the studio and make our fourth record in October.
Wow, that's pretty much taking away the next couple of questions I had.
That's a full meal deal plan. That's it.
Yeah, that's professional benefit. I'm impressed. You're looking forward to playing with the new States?
Yeah, man. We've been friends for years, and I actually got a chance to see a few band in Vegas the other night before we headed over here. And it was fucking awesome. And they were really killer, and it was great to see him back. And he's really, to me, just really recharged and really into doing what he's doing again. It's going to be a great deal.
You're gonna drag him on stage to sing with you guys at all, do you reckon?
We'll see. They do whiplash at the end of their set usually, so it'll probably be easier for me to get up and play a song with them than him to learn those bars. There's gonna be some shenanigans with that on that tour.
Brilliant. I understand that you're also now some sort of agony aunt as well.
Agony.
For Kerrang, there's on your press, you're doing something for Kerrang. Yeah. Fuck yeah, let's do it. So we just told you what's going on. Oh, apparently people like writing, they know what's up.
Well, I do this column in America for Revolver magazine called Ask Vinnie. And I get random questions from fans, and I have a little fucking tongue-in-cheek humor with them, and try to give them some decent advice, but at the same time have a little fun with their situation or whatever they're writing about. So if I get to do that for Kerrang, I'd be into that too.
I'm gonna go check that out. Just mildly embarrassed on you about it.
That'd be awesome for that.
Do you have any, what sort of random questions that you have through the Ask Vinnie?
I get a lot of letters from people in prison and shit. It's like. How did I get out? Dude, think about how you got in. You fucking robbed a bunch of shit. You got to think about the consequences of what happened. I get a bunch of crazy ones. I get mother daughters asking me questions, and I'm just like, look, man, just hook up with both of them, man. Get the best of both worlds. Get the milk and you get the daughter, man. It's awesome, Lots of crazy stuff like that.
Brilliant. Just going back to sort of what you guys went up to. Band of Brothers came out in the last year. How are you guys finding that coming across the crowd? Have you got any fan favourites?
Yeah, the record was a pretty strong directional change for it. The first two records were really almost experimental for us. We really wanted to do some stuff that really strayed away from what we did in our previous band. With Band of Brothers, we really decided to bring those elements from our previous bands into Hellyeah and see what happens. So ended up being a much heavier record, a much more focused record, and I think it's the record that fans really expected from Hellyeah from the very start.
Well, you mentioned other bands, but it kind of ties into the same question you ask every band. I feel that you're one of the most serious people answers. What does the mosh pit mean to you?
It means the crowd's getting into your music, It also means somebody's going to get hurt. And it means they're having fun, man, So that's really what it means to me.
Well, thanks for taking a couple of minutes to chat with us. It's been awesome.
Glad to be here. Download rules. Looking forward to the 7th time. Hopefully next year.
So Mike noticed the thing which I knew was coming. Like, I genuinely knew this was coming.
Baby face, you got the cutest little baby face.
Thank you. I mean, you're rapping a bit of a baby face right now without a beard compared to what you look like in that year.
It's just laziness. It's winter. Got to trap that heat in.
Right. I'm trying my best to. It was the mistake at the very start of the interview I've never forgotten. I have never forgotten that I asked him, were you looking forward to playing? Buddy, I've already played. Like, it has stuck in my brain. Like, I kid you not, I still lose sleep about that particular mistake in an interview.
So guess who's not sleeping tonight now? We've relived the whole torturous experience.
There is actually a high chance that is going to feature in the low light reel of 2 a.m. When I can't sleep, because
Vinny's going to come back from the grave and haunt you.
He really is.
Do your homework.
What's even worse is rewatching it. He is so professional at that point in his career. He's loaded with details.
Yeah.
He's energetic. He's wanting to be there.
He knows who the support bands are of the tour, like 6 months' time.
Yeah, and I'm there looking down at a pad off screen trying to remember what the hell I'm going to say next.
Yeah.
So embarrassing.
What was your band called? Pantera?
How did you get the name Hellyeah? No, fortunately I didn't ask that question, but he was so genuinely lovely, because afterwards I apologised again after the camera went off.
I think that's where you got your first hug, because he felt sorry for you.
The thing was, he never cared. Like, that was the whole point. Like, you can tell from the rest of the interview, it's like, oh, this is just a guy stuck in the press area, it's fine. But I kid you not, that and a few other mistakes, one which, like, there's a couple which I'm never going to even let go on the air from the vault. But I got reminded when I was looking through, trying to decide which one we were doing, got reminded of one of the early interviews I genuinely hate with a fiery passion.
Which ones could that be?
Yeah, I'm not saying on air, that one's never going live. But the thing is, and this is what I think was really useful, is we came off of that festival, and it was, I think even by the next year, maybe 2 years' time at the most, that we had decided to ditch all notepads. And like just...
I think it's probably the year... It was 2015 you ditched the notepads, because that was the set it off.
Yes, that's of course. So the notepads, like, and the thing was, is the reason why is the same reason that we excel at Zoom interviews these days, is it is super useful having loads of details that you can jump into, especially, and this is not a comment on Vinnie Paul, but especially if the person isn't the most talkative in the world, it really helps if you're loaded with information. But when you're like us and you do, especially in the early years, we were doing 10 plus interviews a day each. Walking out of one download with 64 interviews that we had done across the weekend.
We
all
always got
online.
assigned to the sound lab.
Yeah.
Kudos to Jim.
Make sure you do check out the Sound Lab for a much wider variety of genre interviews. He does everybody, doesn't he?
He's good. But also, like, subscribe, and notification bell. Thought I'd get that in this one.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing is the notepads had to be, it was a necessary evil. And I look back at those interviews now, and I'm so pleased they're not listed. I don't know why I'd suggested to put it on from the vault, apart from to laugh at myself. But I remember that it was when we reviewed footage like that, we were like, we've got to stop looking down. And the other ones, it was realising it was my first download of interviewing. I also worked very hard in the years afterwards to make sure that I'm not looking around the entire place, getting distracted by everything ADHD style. Also,
I'm talking to Vinnie Paul, but over there's Enter Shikari.
But when I realised I was looking around as well, do you know what I had to work on? Is make sure I wasn't doing the creepy look that I was giving him of concentration at one point. So I realised at one point I'm just there like, hi Vinny, what's up? And that needed to stop too.
Well, you couldn't have scared him off too much, because he came back for a few more years worth of interviews.
He did, and
Bloodstock was one of them, I think, wasn't it?
but also just the fact that Mike's
Maybe.
not hyping it up, where if we didn't have an interview but Vinny was in the same press area as us, he didn't recognise me as much as he recognised Mike, but he would always come and say hi to Mike, and then he did the very genuine recognising of me going, if I know Mike, then I know you, and then it was, oh yeah, you did the download interview.
Well, talking of download, there was that really, really wet one when, I don't think it was that interview that we've just played,
No.
but it was proper soaking wet, where the garden for the press area was like liquid, but the toilets were at the other end.
Yes.
So when you needed to go, you had to make sure you needed to go, because you had to shuffle through liquid chocolate milk kind of.
And that's a very nice way of putting it. Yeah, it looked like a McDonald's chocolate milkshake. That's the best description.
That was. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, that was the year where I was stood on the steps up to the portable toilets, and I needed to go in the cubicle.
Yep.
You know why? And there was someone already in there, so I stood sheltered from the wind and the rain, and behind me was Danny Worsnop, and I got that photo of me and Danny in the toilet queue. Well. Anyway, the person comes out of the cubicle, and it's Vinnie Paul. So not only does he give the best hugs, he also knew how to warm a seat up rather well.
Oh, festival stuff where you just like, especially.
My claim to fame: I pooed on Vinnie Paul's poo. That's not going to be Lopus.
I don't think that's going to be the one that we put out on social. Definitely not. But the thing is you have that uncomfortable thing. So I was talking about it to you at Bloodstock this year, is that the way Bloodstock's guest end press area is set up, that you have to be very, very confident in everybody knowing what you're going to do, because as a dude, we get 2 cubicles to do the number 2s. And I know at one point I was stood there for like 45 minutes.
Well, yeah, Bloodstock this year, I almost started an interview for you.
Yeah, and genuinely having by the last day you have toilet queue conversations with other people that just stood there. Like I remember saying to one guy, it's like, it's really odd that at a festival, it's one of the few places where you just get queues of people where we all know what they're doing. And like I say, you've got to be very, very confident. It reminds me of the How I Met Your Mother episode where he doesn't like carrying the magazine into the toilet.
Yeah.
So that everybody knows. By the Sunday of Bloodstock, I'm sat there with like my book, my little hand fan to try and keep me cool in the toilet. I don't care who knows that I'm going for a
Do you
poo.
reckon Danny Worsnop says the same story about me? It's like, oh my God, I met Mike James in the toilet queue. Vinnie Paul walked out and then Mike warmed the seat up for me.
I mean, there is a possibility of that. I don't want to claim that he's going to probably remember me more.
Yeah, probably will.
But off of the interview that I did with him, I think it's going to be one that he may not recognise me to like immediately pull it to mind. But all we have to say is this is the guy that asked whether you got your Johnson tattooed. Because he asked me for a creepy question, and I remember looking across to you, and you just going, "Oh no, he's been given free reign.
Don't do it. Oh,
Never give me free reign."
Oh,
So-
he's done it. He's done it, and we're keeping it in the interview.
Well, the thing is we both know that I have 1,000 questions normally that I can ask of a band I'm a fan of. But I had given myself the lead-in of going, I'm going to stop this before I ask too many creepy questions. And I just love Danny's sense of humour because it was just like the glint in his eye, and he's, give me one. And then James going, the creepiest. It's like, I've just been challenged by two of the OGs of Asking Alexandria to come up with something that would shock them. Boom, let's go, are your dicks tattooed?
And you can see the answers on our YouTube channel.
I still love the cut on social media as well. If you find it on social media, because I cut it right at the point that it looks like Danny's annoyed when he's not. But it's such a lovely, funny cut point for that one. But yeah, that's if you go back far enough on this YouTube channel, you can find that. You can
Along with other Vinnie Paul interviews, I'd imagine,
yes,
as well.
I think
'cause
there's
we've
still a
done
couple active.
We did a fair few up until he died. I think the last one was the year before he died, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he lived like the thing is he was one of those like originals that lived life to the full and had only just come off the road or was still on the road when he actually passed, I think.
I can't quite remember. It's in 2018.
It was 2018.
But they were still making music.
Yeah.
Like, he was
Oh, that reminds
drummer
me.
for hire for some people.
True. But it did remind me of something really cool that Hellyeah did in 2019, is they did an entire tour so that as many Hellyeah fans as possible could pay tribute to Vinnie.
Yes.
And they did a tour of tribute. I can't remember who played drums for it.
Well, they've done it with Pantera as well, didn't they?
Of course, yeah.
They reformed.
And I mean...
But that was with Anthrax's drummer.
True. But
Charlie Benitez.
I just love it when bands give fans that chance to access it, because we've watched Architects live out years of grief on stage with their fan base, and respect
Slipknot
to
did
them.
it as well. They
it's
did a whole tour just for Paul Gray, didn't they?
yeah. So yeah, well, I think at some point we're going to have to do a Slipknot deep dive. We've talked about it a couple of times in different ways now on different podcasts. I think it'd be quite interesting.
Could be the fact that they've got new stuff coming next year.
So maybe
possibly.
in line with that too.
Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then when we do it, you won't miss it.
Exactly that. I'm not sure what we've got on the books for next week, so you're going to have to, as Mike said, do all the things down the bottom to find out what next week's main podcast is and what weird interview we decide to do for From the Vault next week as well.
I could tell you.
It could tell you, but
I'm not going to. I'm going to let you come back next week.
You've been watching too much Adam Pearce on Raw. I'm going to tell you who's in the tournament next week.
But if you say his name, he will be there.
Alrighty, well, make sure that you look after yourselves, and we'll see you next week.
Joe Hendry!